Welcome back to New Day Northwest. One of our guests today is passionate about children's programming and what they watch on TV, which is very important. Val Thomas-Matson is the creator of, and the star, by the way, of Look, Listen, and Learn TV, a local children's show that provides culturally relevant storytelling, teaches social emotional skills, and critical messages of love and hope. And Val is back with me now. So glad to be here with you.
Ditto.
So tell us first about how the show got started.
Well, I think the first creds would have to go to Mr. Fred Rogers. He was just such an inspiration in my life, and I mean, just grounding. And I spent a lot of time with him because my sister had sickle cell anemia, and we spent a lot of time at Children's Hospital. So television was an early friend for me. And I think the other part that was also very foundational for me is this whole notion that television is evil. Why not use it for good?
Yes.
It's a tool. It's a resource for us.
Yeah.
So those were really some of the grounding principles or inspirations for me. And then I'm just really fascinated by brain development research. It's not rocket science, but we don't have a lot of examples of adults and children interacting in this way we say we want people to interact. And then third, there was a need for representation locally. I mean, we have so much wonderful richness.
And I told you how excited my son was when we were watching your show and he saw all the places he's been to. He saw the Museum of Flight. He saw kids that were so excited. So I love that. I want to ask you, let's talk about Possum.
Let's talk about Possum.
How did you come up with Possum?
Possum is a friend of Thistle Theater, and the artistic director, Jean Intignap, who we unfortunately lost last year.
I'm sorry.
But she was a teacher of mine back at Highline in the 70s. And so she started the Thistle Theater, which is a family puppet company. And so I went to Jean when I was dreaming about Look, Listen, and Learn, and I said, you know, I think it's really important I think it's really important for us to have a puppet in the show. I've watched that, I've researched that, and I know the importance. And kids will oftentimes talk to a puppet like they won't talk to an adult. And so we worked together to look at the characteristics of the character we wanted. And you know, possums are kind of like kids. They don't always get a lot of respect, you know, unless they're in their cute mode, then everybody wants to hang around. But most of us, when we think about possums, we kind of,
because they're running around with their crazy tails and stuff. But they are cute.
They are cute when they're in their moment, right? And we kind of do that with kids in our culture. You know, they're cute when you're on.
When they're sleeping,
When they're sleeping, oh, they're so precious, right?
But when
so we really found a lot of those shared characteristics in Possum.
Well, I just love your show so much. I mean, it's rooted in radical joy, and you can see that when you watch the show. It is just so wonderful. When you mention Mr. Rogers, it has that same comforting and wonderful vibe. And so I encourage you all to go check it out. And you can catch Look, Listen, and Learn every weekend on Seattle Channel 21 and King County TV Channel 22. You can also watch all the episodes on their YouTube page, which is where we were watching it. And Val is sticking around for one more Hot Topics later in the show so you can get to know her wonderful spirit even more. But we